Not a lot of people have talked about this one specific thing in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, so I've decided to take the lead. Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related. So if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. So what is this thing that no one really talks about as it relates to Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Well, it's kind of two things when you think about it, but it's the Dondonpa ticket system and how they really just squeeze every little bit out of you to have those tickets, and the store in which you can buy customizable parts for your carts and boards along with other materials are just far too expensive and pricey for the Dondonpa rate in which you get those tickets. Dondonpa rate? What is this, like the Dondonpa like stock market? So yeah, if you reach a certain amount of criteria when racing either online or in the Grand Prix, heck, even in the race park mode, you will get a little bit of Dondonpa tickets. However, if you've already completed some missions, such as collecting all 5 rings in a track, you will not get as many of those tickets, which makes sense because they don't want you to exploit the system. However, my issue is with the rate that you get Dondonpa tickets, whether it's online, doing a limited festival, what have you, it doesn't really give you a whole lot when it comes to the more pricier objects in the shop. Specifically, the different effects you can get for your car, each being 2,000 tickets a pop. That is a lot. Not to mention, if you want to 100% the game, meaning you want to get every single, item in the game and all of the different, skins and alterations to characters, you have to also invest in the friendship mechanic in which you have to keep giving Dondonpa tickets to different Sonic characters in the roster to essentially bribe them into giving you things, and it scales up pretty high. You first give 100, then it's like, oh, we want, 300, 400, 500, 1,000. And it becomes very pricey, and now you have to balance, do I spend my tickets on cart parts to have all of the cars? Do I spend my tickets on the customizable part to get like the aura and the effects for the car? Do I spend my tickets on these friendship mechanics? It really makes you have to stop and think, because it is a very rare commodity. Although you get it at the end of every single race, you only get like 2, 4, 8 of them at a time. You're not getting them in the 10s to 100s, and some of these things are in the upper thousands. Now, it's great that online, if you win races against people, not only does your rank increase, but you get more tickets depending on your placement, first obviously being the biggest ticket, pun intended. However, it's just very unfeasible, and they really just have you stuck in this grind to keep playing the game. But I have a little bit of a spin on that, because I have to give the game its flowers in the fact that there are no microtransactions in this game. It would have been very easy to do so, especially for a kart racer, and to have just a shop with a bunch of stuff that's like Sonic skins and aesthetics, and just get people addicted to spending real money on in-game currency to then spend for other items. So if I had to choose between this system in which you get a slow rate of tickets versus having a full-on store that's just microtransaction heavy, I would much rather have this. However, it's still not ideal in my opinion. I think they need to increase the rate in which you get these tickets, and also maybe provide more challenges, and if you can do certain cool things within a race, you get more tickets. They do this a little bit with being the #1 ring collector, the #1 person to get all the item containers, but I think they could get really creative with it. Be the person that drifts the most, be the person that falls off the edge the most, be the person that, you can have reward systems even for people that don't necessarily place high, because that'll also get them excited and have dopamine in their brains for when they just go online and keep playing the game. They're still unlocking stuff and getting stuff, even if they're not very good, and consistently get 12th, 11th, 10th place online. And in the grand scheme of things, this is such a non-issue, especially as it relates to this game. I really enjoy Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I just wish that they would kind of tweak this portion a little bit. I know they've changed the experience boosting for the progress bar for certain things, but I really want to see more Dondonpa ticket rewards and getting a more higher quality of them. If that means they have to adjust some of the store prices, that's fine. I just think 2,000 per effect for a car is just far too much. I sink in a good 2 to 3 hours of Sonic Racing Crossworlds almost a day, mostly because of doing this for YouTube, but I only get like a handful of tickets each time, and I really think they need to crank that up to keep people invested and, you know, keep going with this game, especially if you want to get all those friendships, because that takes a lot of time to accrue those tickets and spend them. But also, like I said before, on the other hand, not having microtransactions is a huge win. It's this really weird spot that I'm at where it's like I like to praise companies for not having microtransactions, but at the same time, that's the bare minimum. So it's kind of like you're kind of just praising them for doing the bare minimum, so it's a little bit of a weird position, I think, to be in. But I am happy that they chose not to do this, and they're kind of just throwing all the microtransactions over to Sonic Rumble. I wish they wouldn't do that, because I think that there's a nice market for just having, you know, free content, and there's a whole nuance thing to it. If it's a mobile game, it's a free game, they gotta make the money somehow, but those prices are redonkulous. So that's a rant for another time. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Do you like the ticket system in Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Do you think it's fair? Do you think the amount of tickets they give you is reasonable, and the prices in the store for the tickets are reasonable? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you happy that there's no microtransactions in this game? Do you want microtransactions? If so, what would you like to see? I'm curious for everyone's thoughts and opinions on this matter. Once again, this is such a non-issue thing for a good game. It's just like the one thing that I wish that they would tweak a little bit, so that way I could keep going into the game and keep getting new stuff, because it's a grind to get 100%, which I know is what they're trying to do. They're trying to increase the player count and the time people spend in this game, but I think there's better and more fun ways to do it. With that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya!